So, I have a lot of fragrances here in front of me. I have a lot of fragrances in front of me right now. A lot. And I'm just sitting here trying to make it make sense how I managed to wear all of these fragrances last week. It's a little wild. I think for me last week, I wanted to test out some fragrances that I had recently purchased, as well as always smell myself strongly. So if at any point in the day I did not really smell myself like that, then I went ahead and I got another fragrance to on myself, because I literally have here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have 12 fragrances here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 12 fragrances here. And to be quite honest, I feel like I forgot like 2 fragrances. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. We're just gonna go off of, so I'm basically organizing them right now to stuff that I've been wearing a lot, like I have worn a lot, and then things that I've like worn a decent amount of time, more than 2 times, but still kind of new-esque to me, and then my newer ones or something that is brand new to my collection. I'm so sorry, this is giving me agita. This cannot steal so. Why is this so messy? What is this? Why is this here? Not garbage. Oh boy. Anyway, let's light a candle. I'm actually not feeling this one right now. Let's go ahead and light the margarita one. So I have here Island Margarita. And we're gonna light this. This is really good. Oh my gosh, I love this fragrance, this candle so much. Come on. For anyone who's wondering, this candle, Island Margarita, does not smell like St. Bart, Tommy Bahama. Even though they both have a margarita smell, this one is definitely sweeter. This candle is sweeter than Tommy Bahama. But anyway, let's get into, I'm not doing much to my face today, so I don't know how long this live is about to be, but I definitely want to talk big things about perfumes, because I'm about to go buy another fragrance. Honestly, it's a little sickening. It's a little sickening. But yeah, so let's go through the ones that I wore last week that I've worn quite a bit recently. The first one is L'Ombre de Merveille. Y'all, I'm starting to already catch this dent in here. My thing with L'Ombre de Merveille, I don't think it doesn't work well with anything, only because it's literally your first couple minutes, maybe if that, it smells like Coca-Cola, but then it dries down into this wonderful lush bath bomb smell. So it's very clean, slightly sweet, little powdery type of smell. Oh my gosh, and the bubbliness goes away quite quickly with the cola smell. So it's just a really nice lush bath bomb smell. And I feel like it's clean with a slight sweetness, so it mixes decent with just about everything. Because I'll find myself spraying this quite a bit. Wow, that's actually quite an intense. Like, oh my, what's the word? It's quite an intense, guys, what is this called? Dent. Boy, oh boy, I need some Starbucks. Starbucks sounds absolutely wondrous today. So yeah, L'Ombre de Merveille, I wore that a few times throughout the week because I would just randomly put it on in the morning, at nighttime. And these fragrances that I've been showing you for the past, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, about what I wore last week, do not include my nighttime fragrances because I wear, most of the days I wear fragrance to bed unless I'm wearing a really nice, strongly scented lotion. So yeah, next one is Rouge Smoking. This then is getting astronomically worrying, but I literally cannot stop. One thing though I do want to say is I do spray that a lot. Like, I do wear it a lot, but I also spray quite a many sprays of it, and it's only a 9 ml. I'm just trying to make the price tag something I can actually do, because I do intend to eventually own the full price of it. But for $190, for $200, Rouge Smoking is very much so out of mid-price range and into expensive. Oh, but it smells so good. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to be packing today. I'm gonna be packing today, and I'm gonna pack this up, so I will stop using it. Actually, let me put this out of my way. So yeah, that was that one. Another one that I've been using a lot that I used last week is Mon Guerlain's Guerlain. I actually high-key, low-key want to bring this with me on vacation, but I'm not going to. Only because decanting this is actually not an intelligent decision, I don't think, because there's so little of it left. Like, I have less than half of it. I'll be okay without it for 4 days. You know what's actually interesting about Rouge Smoking and Guerlain's Mon Guerlain? It's a similar type of sweetness, but the forefront of it is different. Like, I don't know if there's, I think maybe there's lavender and something in here, and then there's like a cherry in here. So the forefront of it's different, but it has a similar level of sweetness. So if you like the sweetness in Mon Guerlain and you haven't tried Rouge Smoking yet, just know that the level of sweetness is around the same, except Mon Guerlain is a little bit stronger. Although I do have to spray quite a bit to get the projection I would like, this does not project. This is right off of your skin, and it's close encounter type situations. The only people who are really gonna smell you are your people, your friends, your significant others, so on and so forth, who are actually in your space, especially nowadays. So if you wanted to actually like smell really good to attract, like, or not attract, but you want people to know, like, oh, she smells good, Rouge Smoking is not it right now, because you just don't want people close to you like that. Mon Guerlain's Guerlain. And then the last one that I've been wearing quite a bit, yo, and I'm going to decant this only, okay, so I had bought a decanted version from Fragrance Net, and I gave it to my mother because I only had sprayed it twice. I only sprayed it 2 times, and I really truly liked it. So I just, that same night, went and dropped $80 and bought this. And this is 2 fluid ounces, 1.6 fluid ounces. This is 50 ml, which I believe to be 1.6 fluid ounces. And I've used quite a bit of it already. So I think I'm just gonna have to decant this and bring it with me. It's just a very fresh, almost like green, like garden. Like, if you go to a garden, I feel like I've been talking about this fragrance a lot, so I'm gonna make this quick. It's like if you go to a garden, right? You're gonna go and you look slightly bougie, you have tea time, you're looking all cute and stuff, whatever, in your dress and whatnot, right? You go into the garden, but the garden is not blossomed. It's not blossomed, right? So it's very green, green, green everywhere. This is what you're gonna smell, and then the after effect, like, you actually haven't reached the garden tea party yet, but you can kind of get small whiffs of some type of like tea, like a mint tea. It smells really good. It smells really good. There's no tea note in here, but I did drink a lot of mint tea as a child, so that might be why tea comes to mind when using this fragrance. It's beautiful. So moving on to fragrances that I've used a few times, but not as much as the other ones. This is Sophia by Sophia Vergara. I actually quite like this fragrance. Nowadays, it's actually giving me like a citrusy vibe, as in like an orange, which makes it smell less like, even less like Coco Mademoiselle to me. It's very, very citrusy these days, but still got that bright, bubbly type of feeling to it. Still fun, still love it. I actually do intend to, I might even decant and bring this with me. I don't know, because I'm bringing like 32. I feel like I'm literally bringing like 10 decants already. But it's a very bright, like it's a nice smell. It's a very nice smell, and if you give yourself 3-4 sprays, you're definitely not booming too crazy. But if you give yourself like 6-7, you're definitely stating your presence. It's this is actually mixing very nice with L'Ombre de Merveille. It's mixing very nicely with it. It's giving like orange to the powdery clean smell. This is a very lovely fragrance. Actually, I didn't mix these two together last week, but it's something good to know. This is a very affordable fragrance. If you want to smell good and you're not worried about like, oh, I gotta smell classy and expensive and rich, and this is just a nice sweet smelling bubbly fragrance, and not like a brown sugar sweet or a honey sweet, just like a fruit sweet. Very nice fragrance. I typically compare, I say like this is the younger, more fun, a little less sophisticated sister to Coco Mademoiselle. I decanted this for my trip already, but I wore this. No, there's so, it smells so good out the bottle, but what really makes me love this is what it does on my skin. What it does on my skin is something so entirely feminine and beautiful and gorgeous. I literally bought a dress I think is gonna work so well with this fragrance, because it's just giving me super feminine vibe, almost like it doesn't remind me of the forest or anything, but like think like elf or like some fairy or something. Like it's just very girly, feminine, and like almost ethereal a little bit. The musk in here really does something for me. The lemon is not like a super bright citrusy lemon, but it's still there, giving it a slight brightness to this fragrance. This is a wonderful fragrance. I would recommend. I do have a video coming up that I will be recording today about, who knows when it's gonna be posted, about like fragrances I really do recommend for the masses. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like a lot of YouTubers that talk about fragrance, you know, they have interesting tastes because they have like 200 fragrances, right? So you're gonna get bored eventually of the mass appealing fragrances. So I want to talk about the mass appealing fragrances because there's definitely a place for them in most people's stash. So the next one is Miss Dior's Absolutely Blooming. This will most definitely not be coming with me on my trip. I do really like it though. But Miss Dior is absolutely blooming. It's quite a strong fragrance. I took very strong fragrance, and I just don't want to bring any fragrances in which I'm concerned I might overspray, because maybe I'll be drinking a few drink on. It's a vacation, okay? Don't judge me. This is very nice though. It was very nice. It was very sweet. Okay, it was sweet but very floral. This is a very floral forward fragrance, but they put enough sweetness in it that the floralness didn't bother me, to be honest. And the bottle's really cute. I know it's not necessary to say. This is very nice. A little fresh, a little light, not light, a little bright, but definitely floral and definitely sweet, like a artificial slight sweetness. It's not like coming from any fruit type of sweetness, or maybe there's a fruit in here, but I don't smell fruit sweetness, if that makes any sense. Now on to the newer fragrances in my collection. Newer as in it might have been sitting in my collection and I'm just now getting to really wearing it quite a bit. Let's actually start putting makeup on my face. So the first one is Floral Street Sunflower Pop. So this is relatively new to my collection, but I can already tell you I do intend to eventually own a full size of this fragrance, because it is so very well done, so very well executed, and it gives me fun. It gives me summer. I actually feel like you could low-key wear this not in the supremely high heat, but in summer. It's a very bright, friendly, almost like I don't know if it's tangerine or mandarin in here. It's a very, very fun fragrance. And I don't, it's not one to like, oh, I want to be taken super duper serious. I wouldn't like with this fragrance. I don't feel like it does that, but it's definitely fruity, flirty, fun. And a pen spray I think was $27, $28. I quite enjoy this, and I do like the bottle. I want to own the full size of it. Olympia is actually one of my older fragrances, but I did get it when it was getting quite cool in where I live, in the States. And so I didn't really wear it too much. I tested it out to make sure I even liked it, because I would have returned that thing ASAPity if it didn't work on my skin. Because the thing about liking something in the bottle, y'all, is you might like it's another bottle. However, you go to put it on your skin and your skin does some foolery with the fragrance. And so I did try it. I loved it, but I really wore it. It actually lasted pretty dang amazing on my skin. And I can't remember if I've worn it before then, like for an entire day, and really was hyper aware of it. But this is so nice. It's sweet, slightly. Hi! It's slightly sweet, very salty. There's almost something slightly warm about it. This is definitely Olympia by Paco Rabanne, is definitely a fragrance to have, although this is not like something I found that I don't hear people talking about. Some people have definitely mentioned Olympia. Olympia is mid-price range, which makes it a little more affordable, and kind of a lot more affordable than some other fragrances that are being recommended now. It's the saltiness in here for me. And if you don't like the sweet, super sweetness, it's not super sweet, but there's definitely vanilla. You can definitely smell it in here, but you want that salty vibe, Ocean de Joa is definitely a vibe. And if you'd want more fresh, slightly aquatic, but not per se salty, Aqua de Joya is definitely the vibe. I think I said some about Aqua de Joya a few months back, but now that you're in the warmth and I've had a little bit more clean fragrances, I can say for sure Aqua de Joya is a good fragrance to have. But I really wore this because it's a little warm. It's salty. It's a little sweet. It's actually giving slight bouge, slight bougette, slight bouge. You know what I mean? And I quite enjoy that. So yeah, that's that. The next one I wore was Love by Sophia Vergara. I'm going to keep my opinions about this fragrance to myself for a little longer, because I only wore this one day last week. I'm going to try to see if I can get myself to wear this another time, sometime this week, because I need to just gather some more intel about this fragrance. But one thing I will tell you right now, I'm not that impressed. But I think that has more to do with preconceived notions I had of this fragrance, because this fragrance was gassed up and compared to a very popular fragrance, and it does not give me that fragrance at all. So now maybe this week, or latest next week, I will wear this fragrance and wear it as if it's a brand new fragrance with no comparison to anything else, because I'm severely not impressed with it, comparing it to a fragrance it gets compared to all the time. And I'm very glad I did get a smaller one, but it's okay. It's very affordable though. It was very bright on my skin. In the bottle, it doesn't smell as bright as it smells on my skin. I'm not sure if there's like a tangerine or mandarin, something very citrusy is in here. And that wears the majority of the time on my skin. The coffee note in here is dang near non-existent on my skin, even as I let it wear down, and it does not last. My skin, yum up fragrance. My skin eats fragrance like I eat cornmeal porridge. So like, I really don't, I'm not judging this fragrance too high, especially since it's so affordable. It's under $20 from this 1 ml. But it just wasn't giving. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it moving because I don't want to be too mean to her. Citrine, listen. Just listen, okay? If you like citrusy fragrances in the summer, the spring, right? Because you just want a brighter type of smell. You're not trying to have, you know, almond or whatever. You want the citrus note, right? But you don't want that super bright citrus, because you want a citrus fragrance for going out. That's citrine. There's something slightly, definitely grown and sexy about this, even though it has this citrus note in here. It is bright, of course. There's citrus in here. But as it dries down in my skin, it gets a little like green, a little woody, a little sexy. I'm not sure what's in here. I don't think vetiver is in here. Let's just look. I don't know if this is going to even work for me right now. But there's something in here that makes me think most definitely you can wear this at nighttime. It's definitely a very nice fragrance. There's nothing really sweet-esque about it. It has a little tinge of sweetness from the citrus notes, but I don't smell on my skin any like added sweetness. But there's something very, I can wear this at nighttime for sure going on in this Nest fragrance, which is funny because if you look at the bottle, yeah, you're seeing these yellow, bright yellow flowers, but it is like dark nighttime behind them. So I wonder if they made this fragrance with that in mind. You get what I'm saying? Like perhaps they did that on purpose. They wanted to give you a bright citrus fragrance. No, my internet's not working right now. A bright citrus fragrance with nighttime in mind. Like I would go out with this. I'm actually thinking about decanting this. I just don't know how hot it's gonna be and where I'm going on vacation. It is the tropics, but it's a very bright, slightly sexy. It gets a little grown smelling as it dries down, and this actually lasted I think like 5-6 hours. So if you're going out somewhere for the night, it's definitely gonna be on you. And I didn't overspray, which was wild that it lasted 5-6 hours on me, because when I'm oversprayana, but citrine, I didn't overspray because I was a little concerned about the citrus aspect of it giving me a headache. I wasn't sure why I was concerned because that's never happened before. And it didn't. It was very lovely. It was very lovely. I actually got compliments wearing it the day I wore it. And you know actually what I wore this with? I wore this with Valentino's Yellow Dreams. This was very nice. Okay, moving on. So Mother's Day passed, and my husband finally repurchased Coco Mademoiselle. As you can see, I already have a slight dent because I oversprayed this, and I wore this a lot. Like, I wanted to smell like Coco Mademoiselle day in and day out, like into the night and like everything. So Coco Mademoiselle, I think, lasts 7 hours on me, but it starts to tame down around the 5-hour mark. So around the 5-hour mark, I resprayed myself, so I was booming again. No. And I mixed this with the next fragrance I'm about to tell you about. I love this. I love Coco Mademoiselle. I'm so glad he bought this for me. It smells so good to me. And I know there's actually quite a few people who prefer the intense. And I'll probably get my nose on the intense. But if I wanted to add some like sweetness to it, well, I'll tell you what I added to add sweetness to it. But if I want to add honey to it, or I wanted to add brown sugar to it type thing, I have fragrances that have that as its primary note. And I have mixed it with those and gotten a very lovely smell. So yeah. And the last one, which is my newest fragrance right now, and that is Daisy Marc Jacobs Oh So Intense. No. Listen to me when I say this. I'm going to be real with you. I should have got a bigger bottle because it doesn't last super long. I get a solid 4 hours and then I don't smell it like I would like to. It probably lasts around 5, but after the 4-hour mark, it's a little, well, like I said, I wanted to boom, okay, the whole week. So keep that in mind. A solid 5 to 6 hours. It probably lasts 6 hours on my skin and just be really close to the skin for the last hour. But I'm telling you 4 to 5 because I wanted it to boom. So around the 4-hour mark, I resprayed myself. This mixed with Coco Mademoiselle. Should I tell you all my secrets? All right, we're friends, so I'm going to tell you my secrets. This mixed with Coco Mademoiselle literally smelled like the most perfect brunch, the most perfect yacht trip for the day, the most perfect, oh my, no, it's this, okay, it's the strawberry and I believe honey in here for me. These two give you this perfect bubbly, strawberry, citrusy, drizzled in honey perfection. There's something really about this fragrance that just, it's really, okay, it's not the most bougette fragrance by itself, right? But adding this to a bougette fragrance gives it that extra that extra sweetness. The honey in here is almost like, there's some depth in here. Like, it's not, people say it smells like fresh strawberries. Definitely doesn't give me fresh strawberries, but it could be the honey in there. I think for me, what's the biggest thing is it's the honey. I kind of wish was in Scandal. I don't hate Scandal, but as you can, I don't have it in my collection for a reason. It's for some reason on my skin, it's not doing what it's supposed to. And I even went and got the Shocking scent, the purple one, that people swear up and down smells similar to, like, it's a dupe for Scandal, basically, they say. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Shocking scent is not a dupe for Scandal as far as I am concerned, because it gives me automatically Welch's fruit snacks. I don't smell honey. I don't smell anything I feel like I smell in Scandal. And when I tell you that, it's because when I spray Scandal, I really gotta be nose in out of the something, really smelling it, really smelling it to really catch the whiff of Scandal that I swear other people smell just from a distance. So I'm not sure if it's definitely my skin. I'm not gonna even say I'm not sure. I'm pretty positive something is just up with my skin chemistry and Scandal. It just don't like Scandal. So for me, this is like the honey I wish I had in Scandal. It's like the depth I wish I had in it's just everything, honestly. This makes me want more Daisy. I did smell, no, and I'm gonna talk about this and then want to go to the store. It is what it is. When I went to the store, I was stuck between this one, which is Marc Jacobs Daisy Also Intense, and Marc Jacobs Intense. Now I want it. Here's the problem about wanting fragrance, right? I do have the funds for it, but it's Monday, right? So I'm gonna end up buying it. And I ended up buying this because the day I went and bought this, it was like the last day to get 5 times the points from Ulta, which is awesome, by buying one of these. And I like the smell of it. So I spent $20 of points to buy this. So I only spent $57 on this, which I'm gonna be very honest with you, I wouldn't spend more than $65 on this by itself, just because it is a super not complex fragrance, but it's just such a good layering. I don't know, maybe I don't know. It was just nice to only have seen the $57 after I spent, like, I think I had 20 or 21, whatever. And then after done doing this, because I had that many, like, I got extra points for it, I have like $12 again in points. So I just feel like in my head I can make it make sense to go to the store and go pick up Daisy Intense. It's the almond milk note in there, or almond, I'm fairly certain it's almond milk. It smells so delicious, so scrumptious, so like, it just smells really good. Like, it smells really good, and I feel like I could get away with it in the nighttime of warm weather. And if you lightly spray it, I feel like you could get away with it for sure during the day in spring weather. I don't think I would try it. It's very creamy. It's probably one of the creamiest fragrances I've smelled in a very long time, and it's just creamy. Like, I feel like a lot of creamy fragrances I smell also give me powdery, like Sea Fury. Smells really good. The only other fragrance I can think off the bat that I've smelled that gives me that very creamy vibe, which now I cannot wear in too hot of heat, is my signature scent, which is Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, or what I intend to make my signature scent. Although I feel like quite a few people have smelled that on me quite a few times. So anyway, that is a very creamy fragrance, but the rose is very strong in there, which I think is what makes the fragrance polarizing a little bit. Which is why I think I had that issue that one day that I wore it, with it booming in an interesting way in my nose, because it was like 70 degrees, which is quite warm, but not that warm, you know what I mean? So I feel like Daisy Intense is something that you can wear, because it's creamy, but there's nothing in there that was kind of like, if that makes any sense, like that face, like, ooh, something is doing a little too much. Where's my, this is why I need a better system for these brushes. I need to separate my brushes between face brushes, eye brushes, because I've too much brush. Okay, well, should I just shave off my eyebrows? Let me stop the foolishness, because I won't be doing that. But yeah, so I do actually quite want that, and I'm just trying to decide when I'm going to buy it. Not if, when. When I shall be going and spending le funds on buying it. Guys, where's my eyeliner? I really need a shelf which I can just organize just my makeup, because I have a lot of makeup as well as my fragrances. Hold on, I must concentrate, because I don't really have hooded eyes, but I do have a little bit of creasing that goes on when I do fully open my eyes. So I try not to fully close my eye when I'm doing it, so it could be a little more, if that makes sense. But yeah, anyway, I digress. Oh, so intense. Daisy's Oh So Intense. Perfection. There was actually a few I want to try and own from Daisy. Skies was not in there. See, I closed my eyes like I don't have any sense. Daisy Skies and the Oh So Fresh and all of that. I do want to try them. I actually like the bottles. Call me a child. I actually like how the bottles look. Or I should say, excuse me, the caps, because I don't think anyone has any problems with the actual bottle. I like the caps. It's okay. As you go around and start amassing the collection, and I definitely don't have a massive collection. I do have a video. It's called my medium collection, because that's what I consider it. If you compare me to like other YouTubers, I have a medium collection. But I do have almost 100 fragrances, and the bottles get to be a little basic. In the terms of if you compare them and put them next to other bottles, right? So, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you like when your stuff looks the same, that might work in your favor. However, that's just not that's just not me. I do like some similarities, but also some differences. So yeah. So I like this, and I like that I can actually turn the flower. I know that's kind of like childish, but I think that's so cute. This is so beautiful. And I heard that there is actually no daisy note in the daisy fragrances, and I just want to ask why. Like, when you were coming up with the fragrance name, right, or the fragrance line name, right, and someone said, oh, let's name it Daisy, what made everybody else say, yeah, and there's no daisy note? It's giving, okay, kind of understood the assignment because it's selling well, but kind of didn't because it's not actually a note. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's, if you don't know what I mean, I don't know how else to explain that. Oh, here's the brush that I was looking for. Why is it in here? But yeah. So I'm about to wrap it up. I know I've been doing an hour, but your girl's got things to do. Well, videos to record, and hopefully I won't leave this house and buy that fragrance today. But per se, yo, I'm really just digging. I'm like, I gotta find as much more as I can. I think for me, because I'm I'm a little dry in my skin, the least powder I can put on my face and still have it set and stuff, the better. So the fact that this is not powder but it's still not liquid is good. This is cream, sorry, that's what they call this, cream blush. And I really do like the finish of the cream blush. I have a lot of powder blushes that I love the color of a lot, but sometimes it just looks, it's giving cakey sometimes on my skin, which obviously I like to eat cake, not look like it. I like to smell like cake, not look like it, you know? At least not dry cake. So pat, 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 pat. But yeah, those are all the fragrances I wore last week, which is a lot of freaking fragrances. Like, but it did open my eye to how long a lot of these fragrances last, in the essence of any type like booming. Because that is something to keep in mind, especially for the average consumer. The average consumer who only has like 2 to 5 fragrances, or sorry, 1 to 5 fragrances or so. I think that's most people who own any fragrances anyway. That's around there. So when you have such a curated small stash, you're definitely gonna be more aware of, like, you don't want anything in the fragrance you don't like at all, right? And also, is this going to actually last at all on my skin? If I'm going to spend that coin, it better last, you know, because you want to make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck, especially nowadays where I feel like a lot of these really, a lot of these expensive fragrances will give you like 4 hours of wear time. The math isn't mathing. 1 plus 1 is equaling negative 600, 543. Like, it's just not mathing correctly. And so, like, that's something I feel like that needs to be taken into account when you're watching YouTubers and stuff, because for them, and sometimes for me, you know, it really doesn't have to last the longest, because I have so many fragrances, and more often than not, I'm either layering it or I don't mind coming back for a night out, right? And respraying myself or spraying a completely different fragrance. To be honest, that's probably what I want to do, is have a day fragrance and then have a night fragrance. Some people, well, probably quite a few people don't differentiate like that. With that whole day versus night, and I feel like a lot of people don't overspray. They'll be like 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, that's it. That's all they sprayed. But that's really like normal, because like I said, I'm overspraying. That's how I figured out I really do be over, like I be bathing in the fragrance. I bathe in fragrance. Like, there's very few fragrances I don't douse myself in. So definitely an anomaly. Just putting on some mascara. I'm gonna throw on some lip gloss, and I think I shall be done. Actually, here's my problem. I don't know if you guys noticed, there's this lovely woman who came out with this new under eye thing, where she puts her eyeshadow primarily underneath her eye as opposed to at the top of her eye. I actually have a few videos coming out where I did one look like that. I think I'm actually going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick before I really dip. But yeah, so I think for me, like, rouge smoking for the average consumer probably isn't something that they would, first of all, it's $200, and second of all, it's not a super strong fragrance, and it doesn't last a super long time. So for the price range, the smell of it is really what gets me. The smell of it is what really sells me every single time I put my nose to it, because the smell of it is something I have not smelled before. Maybe that's you know, but I haven't smelled thousands of perfumes. There's definitely, I'm sure, a fragrance out there that is somewhat similar, but there's just something so beautiful about rouge smoking, and a lot of other fragrances that might not last the longest, but the smell of it is what sells people. The thing about doing this type of thing, you want to know where exactly you want to apply the product, and then kind of like buff it out as you go along, and then you got to go back to the one you did prior to make sure the color doesn't fade out in there. Oh, and of course, right, layering always helps, right? So I do have a cherry scented lotion, and I've come to really love the smell of cherry. You know, a cherry fragrance that I did buy that I actually just haven't been using like that, and I need to start because it was basically mid-price range for me, and I feel like I would like it if I would give it more time and energy. And that is Dossier's version of, I'm definitely gonna have to go back in with my, okay, it's fine. Dossier's version of Lost Cherry. Yo, my mind. Lost Cherry. It's, now that I'm really truly liking the note of cherry, I definitely need to try out, put on maybe that's what will be my scent of the day now that I'm talking about it, because why not? Okay. Boom, 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 boom. It looks crazy, but wait. Now you gotta go back in with your concealer. Now you gotta buff this out very slowly, because now foolishness can occur. But yeah, when it comes to like the more expensive fragrances, I feel like longevity isn't always a primary concern per se, as long as obviously it's not gonna last like 1 hour, although some people will sit there, like I know Guerlain's, like the aqua something line, some people do just have those in there because they smell so good. No, they really smell so good, but will really dead ass last like 2 hours, 3 hours, which is not even half a day. Okay, and that's wild because they're like $150. So it just honestly depends on you as a person and what you're willing to spend your money on, especially your skin chemistry, because something could be so big for everybody else and then you put it on and be like, no, where's the hype? Where is the hype? I don't actually own Baccarat Rouge 540. However, for me, it has been quote unquote duped so much. I have actually gotten a decant of Baccarat Rouge 540. I'm just gonna call it 540. I have gotten so many. I've got the decant, not the decant, the tester from the MFK website, and for me, it's just not as, for the price point that it costs. There are enough fragrances that are similar enough that I feel like you could get away with it, if I'm making any sense. And that price range for it, like a lot of people, you know, everybody's nose is different, but a lot of people will tell you like it's just so different, it's still quite different. But there's also some foolishness of people telling you like some fragrances that they'll say has the DNA of Baccarat Rouge that don't, to me. Like, okay, Burberry Her, I can understand it has an airy like quality in the dryer, like as it dries down, that might make you think, oh, it kind of has that same, but it's such a it's so fruity to me. Okay, it's very fruity, so it almost gives me not at all Baccarat Rouge 540 at all. And that's not me coming for people who say it does. That's just my experience of it. So I wouldn't Not the $300. Not the $300. That's a lot of money. That's buku. That's some bills. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm wrapping this look up. I was not doing a lot before, and all of a sudden there's a lot on my face. Well, a lot-esque on my face. Y'all, do y'all be doing that? Like, have a plan for your look, and then you go to do the look, and the plan is not what ends up happening on your face. Or is it just me? Let me know. Anyway, that's about it. This went from the rainbow under eye look to like that blended add color to your concealer look, and I am actually more here for this right today. Just today. Anyway, let me know what you wore last week. And did you wear any of the fragrances I wore last week? Let me know. Let me know. I'm interested. I'm interested to know. I think I want to put on a little bit of a darker color. On my lips, and then I'm going to set it with, why did that break? A dark purpley color. Loving it. Oh yeah, salty is definitely a note I've been really loving right now, and Ocean de Joa is really nice. Olympia, I do want the Olympia, I think it's Intense, I'm not sure, like the darker juice one, and also the Blossom one or whatnot. Honestly, I just want the whole Paco Rabanne line, although some people are not impressed by like Lady Million or something. I'm going to leave my mind blank, like open to that one, because I do want to smell it for myself and see what I think. Because it does, I mean, it does make some sales, so it can't be complete garbage. Where's my lip gloss? My lip gloss is cool. My lip gloss be popping. Okay, that's it. And I'm gonna roll. Thank you so much for chilling with me. If you liked it, can I get that like? Can I get that subscribe? Join the fam, okay? I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to do a little ting on. And hopefully you'll join me for my next one.